What's up, everybody? Brendan here. How to get over your ex. That's an interesting topic. I don't normally talk about things like this. I'm always talking about nutrition and wellness. But it's weird because over the past few days I've had like several people come up to me all asking for relationship advice and how to get over their ex. And they were asking me how I got over mine. And this was a long time ago. But there's definitely an approach and a systematic method that I followed. And just a disclaimer, this is not my information, this is not my own methodology, but it's my interpretation of how I've used these particular teachings in order for me to, you guessed it, get over my ex. So again, disclaimer, this information that I'm going to present is from Dr. John Demartini. He is a human behavioral specialist. Again, this is my interpretation and how I used some of his philosophies and some of his steps in order to get rid of, or not get rid of, but get over my ex. But that in itself, you can actually use this entire methodology, this step process for relationships, friendships, jobs, careers, goals, visions, anything that you want to kind of break away from any mental bondage that you might have, or you find yourself really not motivated or not inspired to do something. You can do this step and this process. It's actually called the Demartini Method. You can do this on your own and kind of take some steps forward. Again, this is not my own, this is my sort of interpretation of it. So that being said, I'm going to erase the board and begin. Okay, so are you ready to begin? Follow through. Don't get confused because I've got an approach to this. I'm going to take you on a little bit of a story in order for you to understand the principles completely so you can again apply them to yourself. So stick with me right now. So this right here, consider this your mind, okay? This right here is, let's just call it your conscious and your subconscious. In any relationship, for the most part, we tend to, at the beginning especially, we tend to put that particular person on a pedestal. And we actually somewhat subordinate to them. We start to adopt their values and start to suppress our own. So let's go adopt, suppress. And by doing that, you're not quite aware of the person's negative personality traits or characteristics. You're only aware of their good personality traits and their good characteristics. So let's call this positive and negative. When you're in that state, you're in a state of elation or manic. So we'll go manic. Opposite of manic is low. When you're in this state, again, you're only really visualizing, you're only being aware of the good things, the good feelings, the exotic feelings, the erotic feelings, the compassionate feelings, the feelings of safety, whatever it is that you like and admire about that person. You tend to negate their negative personality traits. Maybe they are a little bit mean or short-tempered sometimes, or maybe you feel a little bit inferior to them because they are so high up and they're better than you. Maybe you feel not as attractive as them and they're more attractive to you. And by doing that, you're putting them on a pedestal and really suppressing your own values. You're also adopting their values, suppressing your own. You're being totally aware of their positives, but you're being unaware subconsciously of the negative drawbacks. You want to be right here in the middle. Equanimity. He explains that this is the mind. This is complete awareness. In order for you to become aware of the negatives, you've got to go deep within the subconscious and start to itemize and bring up to surface of the negative aspects that this person that you put on a pedestal has. I'll give you an example. if you're doing it based on beauty, perhaps that person does have a negative drawback. Maybe their hair is shorter than what you actually really like, or maybe they're too tall, or maybe they're too short, or maybe they're too skinny or too fat, or maybe they have too much hair on their face, or maybe they're bald. But you tend to suppress those truest things that you actually look for in a person because there's something that you're too attracted to. In order for you to get to that equanimity, here's the exercise. You have to actually write down a list, and Dr. Demartini says up to 200 negative drawbacks to being with that particular person. You've got to go in that subconscious and bring awareness to the negative aspects of that relationship. In doing that, you're able to realize, you're able to come to the mind and be aware that there's actually just as many negatives as there are positives to being with that particular person. And when you become in that state, you become totally balanced, in a state of equanimity, in a state of being aware within your mind that it's not that bad or it's not that good to being with or without that person. You become in a state of complete balance. You become one with the positives and the negatives. This is the universe. This is the law of polarity. You can't have a positive without a negative. And guys, this is not cliche. This is totally true. So for example, let's just call this white and this is black. Well, you want to coincide them and connect them together, and this is the gray. Balance. When you're in that state of balance, you're almost in a state of being indifferent, right? Because you're just aware of both. But ultimately, he says, when you're in the state of equanimity, when you're in the state of the mind, as Eckhart Tolle says, the power of now, being in the now, this right here, it's actually unconditional love. You become in a state of love for that person, just of their being. You're in love with being thankful for that person. You love the fact that they have those traits regardless, and you're okay with being by yourself because that relationship is over. And that state is absolutely, it's almost euphoric because you're in a state of love, like it's unconditional. And if you're in a relationship with someone and being aware of both the negatives and the positives, you won't be in any elated state. Therefore, you'll be able to have control and realization and awareness and being in the now within that relationship. So when that person does something or an experience happens, you'll be able to react and be aware that there's both a negative and a positive aspect to that experience or what that person said or did. And you'll be able to move forward in a loving and caring state because you're aware that with every action, there's a negative aspect and there's a positive aspect, and both come harmoniously together, and you need both to have that state of balance. So here's what I want you to do. If you're in a state where you can't get over your ex and you still feel and you want to have those feelings of elation and you want to have those good loving feelings and you want to have those good memories and you want to have those everything good because you're looking at them on the pedestal still, you need to go deep down within your subconscious and you need to bring about all of the negative aspects of being with that person and why it's good to be alone and why it's a benefit to not be in that relationship. You've got to think of all of the benefits, not just about you, but all of the benefits of the people around you, the benefits of your work, the benefits of your productivity, the benefits of your spirit, the benefits of your soul, the benefits of you being away from that person. And when you come to that realization, after you've written maybe 200, you heard me, 200 benefits, or when you come to a state of equanimity, as Dr. Demartini says, and as I have finally experienced, tears of joy, tears of love, when you come to that point, you'll be completely neutral in the state that you're neither here nor there. You're in the now. You're not trying to hold on to something in the past. You're not trying to make something happen in the future. You're just aware and you're completely thankful. So I want to leave you on this note. I have 100% and so much unconditional love for my ex, and it's not a sort of infatuated love. No, not by any means. It's a state of love, of release and happiness and thankfulness that we're not together, because if we were, I wouldn't be necessarily here right now, and if we were together, maybe I wouldn't be as happy, or whatever the case may be. The point of the matter is that I am thankful, I am gratitude, I'm aware of both the negatives and the positives of her as a person. I equilibrated, and then I was at a state of neutral. And when you get to that state, that will be a great turning point for yourself, in a state of awareness, and that you'll be able to get over your ex. So again, this is not my information, this is my interpretation of it and how I used it to help me get over my ex. That was a long time ago, and we're friends now, and there's, she's with she's got another partner, and everything's great, everything's wonderful. So you can be that way too, and trust me, I know what you're feeling. Like, there was a part where I was just in shambles, and you will get over it. So if you want more information, by all means, go to drdemartini.com. Demartini. I'm not getting paid by this, but it's just, I feel as though that I have an obligation to share this information with you. And if you really want to take that next step, go to his website, buy some audio programs, and I've done a lot of his audio programs, or better yet, find him. He's around the world, and you can go to one of his seminars. Honestly, he's like a modern day prophet. He's like a modern day philosopher. He's like a modern day angel. We are so blessed to have him here. If you want to talk about inspirational people, talk about the Pope, Mother Teresa, Gandhi, Dr. Demartini. He is honestly one of these people. If you don't know, you have no idea how powerful and how smart and how inspirational he is. So I'm so thankful that I was able to accumulate this information, and I continue to do so. So there you go. I hope you enjoy, and you can use this, because it really, really does work. Just remember, law of polarities. There's pros and cons to everything, and if you can be totally aware of the pros, you can be totally aware of the cons, bring them to equanimity, equilibrate, and then you're in a state of now, unconditional love, and you're happy, and then you can move forward. Until next time.